Hey everyone, Anne here. Recently I've gotten a lot of questions about how I put together the pre-show for my Twitch channel, so I wanted to put together a video describing how I achieve the effect you see here, so that you could potentially use these tactics to create your own pre-shows or overlays. So first let's talk about layers. If you've used Photoshop before, you have worked with layers. If you haven't, just imagine that each shape is a paper cutout. Each layer moves independently of the others, and the appearance of the whole project changes as you reorder the layers from top to bottom. These layers don't have to be solid, they can have regular shapes and cutouts that allow you to see through to the layers underneath. So, applying the same idea to a pre-show layout, I made this mock-up with frames and graphics. There's the background, which has the big background image, some text, random shapes, that kind of thing. There's the chat box and the social box, which we're going to fill in later with a video. And then this little connect box, which we are going to actually save separately. And this is the After Effects project that once I kind of knew what I wanted things to look like after mocking them up in Photoshop, I basically brought stuff over into After Effects and then started making kind of this animation. You can see here that the text animates in, and we're going to save this as like a separate video file that's just this text on a transparent background, so we can overlay that on top of the image that is the background of our whole scene. One of the things that people were most curious about was the music player and visualizer that I have set up on my intro. And the secret here is that actually every single one of the songs that I play for the intro is its own video file with a visualizer baked in through After Effects. So the way that it works is in OBS, which I'll show you in a second, there are a bunch of hidden layers, and I'll turn on whichever one I want to be the intro song for that day. That video file will play with the song and the visualizer, and then that's just the intro for that day. So the next day I'll choose a different song, and the next day I'll choose a different song, and so on and so forth. So if we look at OBS, then you can see what I mean. We've got our different scenes here, and we've got all of our sources for the scene. So the first scene here, the pre-stream, is just the opener. This layer is hidden, and then I start the stream, and when I turn it on, it plays the video. There's a few seconds of just nothing, and then the kind of intro starts, and you guys can see it transition into the pre-stream. And then I switch to the next scene once that finishes, and it just kind of gives like a nice smooth, rather than it just going from a black screen to all of a sudden there's, you know, graphics and stuff, it has like a nice kind of smooth transition. So then pre-stream 2 is where all of the, like the meat of the intro is, and you can see all the hidden music layers here. And let's just go through one by one. So let's start at the very, very bottom. The very bottommost layer is just an image. This is just a static image that is the background and the frames, the two frames, and that's it. The next layer is the chat. And I turned it on, but you can't see anything because obviously there's no one really chatting right now because I'm not streaming. But that is basically just through Streamlabs, and I just kind of gave it some CSS styling and made it the exact size that I wanted it to be to fit into this frame. The next layer is the video file that I showed you a couple minutes ago that is rendered out in After Effects. So that's actually like an MP4 file that has a slightly, like a mostly transparent background. And so that video is just set to loop, and that'll just keep playing over and over and over again throughout the entire intro. The next layer is another static image. This I kind of liked the idea of having it be really layered because, in my opinion, I think it looks more immersive for there to be a lot of things layered. And then the next layer is the background of the music layer, just kind of helping me line things up, and there were some kind of just graphic reasons that I wanted to have that, and I'm not going to get too much into the details. Then there are the alerts, which you can't see again because no one's like subbing right now and that kind of thing, but that's just through Streamlabs again. And then whenever the intro starts, I just pick one of these songs and I just turn on the layer, and then it'll start playing music. The next layer is just the intro, and then intro 2 is kind of the overlay scene that you guys see all the time, which is also kind of the similar like layered experience. The main background layer is just, again, a static image with a frame that's the same size for the chat. There's the chat layer. There's this kind of background picture for the, I guess I have these labeled wrong, but this is kind of the background layer for the camera. And then the frame, there's the actual camera layer. And there's this kind of social background frame thing. Again, I kind of wanted to layer things. This is just a static image that has some transparency to the background. And then this is another one of those little MP4 that has some transparency to the background, and that'll just loop forever, and the alerts. So you can see how you can get pretty creative with the different options that OBS has. It doesn't have to just be one static image or one looping video. You can layer things together and achieve some really interesting results. Thank you so much for watching. Happy streaming.